Hey parents, teachers, grandparents and caretakers, thank you so much for coming back again and again. We started a whole series this new year saying how do we talk? How do we counsel our own children, our own teenagers? It's slightly different from the other ways of counseling because it's in the parenting context. In your talk, in your counseling, your own children, make sure that you don't disconnect. You need to connect. You need to keep that connection going. The thing that we're going to talk about today is that when you are talking to your children, when you're counseling your own children, as they are sharing, do not interrupt in between. Let them finish what they say. Sometimes when there is anger in that room, or sometimes you're emotionally disturbed, sometimes you're very upset. I was just in one of the episodes sharing about one of the child that I was dealing with, recently, and I the first part of it, I lost it. I got very upset, with what that person did and, things like that, And when you're very upset and when you're clouded, your judgment gets clouded, and not just your judgment gets clouded, you don't want to listen into what they are wanting to say. We want to interrupt in between, we have answers for every statements that they say. I think we have to be careful. Resist ourselves from interrupting when the child speaks. I think we need to listen. Maybe ask questions that they can. And that's one of the statements that I've always made over the years. I think we need to be in control ourselves before we want to control our children. We need to be in control of ourselves. We need to first be in a place of calmness before we want to bring calmness in that situation. Only when we are calm, we will not interrupt. If we are wanting to deal with that issue when we are not calm, I would always say to parents, when you're so upset about something and things like that, don't deal with that issue. I think that's the mistake I did. I was very upset when my wife told me about certain things. Immediately, I wanted to deal with it, and I called that boy and began to deal with it. I should have not done it. I should have delayed. I should have waited for another, 20, 30 minutes and calmed myself down, thought about it, and then say, okay, I'll talk to you. I'm very careful with that. With my older kids who are 20, 21 and all of that, I'm very careful because they're much older. This guy was only 15, 16, so I took it for granted. No, I should have not. See, that's the place where we want to be a little careful. First, we have to come to that place of calmness. So what's the point? What's the point? When you talk, when you counsel your own children, do not interrupt. Let them share. Hold your thoughts, and you can share your thoughts later. Don't interrupt in between. When we are interrupting in between, many of the kids would say, my mom doesn't even listen. My dad doesn't even listen. They don't want to even listen. They have their own ways of thinking and they're stuck in their own ways. We don't want that to happen. Thank you so much for coming back again and again. You are a blessing. You're interested in your child's journey, and that's why you're here. And all these episodes, all these videos are all about one thing, right? It's intentionally discipling the next generation. We want to intentionally disciple, right? If you want to subscribe, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to pass these links to someone, feel free to do it. You are amazing. May God give you grace in your journey.